I just received these Kenwood L-05Ms from an eBay seller. My friend actually bought these on eBay and he had them shipped directly to me. He bought them as working and in good shape. So what I'm going to be doing here is just a basic restoration, adjustment, and then we're going to test them out. I don't suspect that we're going to need to troubleshoot or repair anything on these. It's just mainly just a basic service. So I'll bring you guys through it and I'll show you what needs to be done. I think we're going to be changing out these binding posts and the RCA jacks as well. So let's get to it. So it's been a few days since I've unpacked these L-05Ms. I've had some time to inspect them, and I've found some issues that will actually result in these being sent back to the seller who sent these to the client of mine. These were sold as working and in good shape. The owner was kind of iffy on whether or not they were serviced before, but he seemed like he was pretty sure that they weren't. But as you can see, one of these amplifiers has been worked on. Someone has changed the original NEC high-speed outputs for really not good NTE equivalents. You don't really want to use these in a high-speed amplifier just because they don't match up with the specifications of the original NECs. Another thing that was done, which I really don't like, is somebody has ripped capacitors out of a Denon receiver and they actually glued them to the board upside down and bodged some wires on them. And you can see that there's an exposed bus between the two capacitors, and you can see the solder quality is really poor. So that right there is gonna mean that these amplifiers are going back to the seller. You can't find outputs for these anymore, which is probably why they were changed out with NTEs. And another thing that's weird is whoever worked on these only changed out 3 of the outputs. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I have to turn this around. Up front, you have an original NEC output, and then you have an NTE output, and then toward the back you have 2 more NTEs. Also, the drivers weren't changed, the emitters weren't changed, none of the other components were changed other than the fuses. And this fuse right here, which is for the remote power switch that would come on the preamp. You know, you turn the power on the preamp on, and it would close the circuit and engage this relay and turn this amplifier on, so you wouldn't have to go to each amplifier and turn them on. You could just turn them on with the preamp. That fuse is supposed to be 300 milliamp, and somebody changed that with a 5 amp. Other than that, this L-05 has all original components on the inside. I went through it thoroughly. No one has really messed with this amplifier, but it did get bumped during shipping. And this ground plane right here, it's actually a pretty bad design in my opinion. This bus bar connects to the main amplifier. So the main amplifier module, the whole section gets its ground through this point right here. And as you can see, it's loose. That was causing oscillation. So I plugged this amplifier in and it was drawing a lot of current. So I hooked my scope up to it and I saw that it was oscillating at full tilt. That's a major issue with the Kenwood amplifiers of this era and a lot of others of this era, mainly because of components that they used. They used black flag, they call them black flag, polystyrene caps, and they raise or lower in value over time because of heat, and they will send the amplifier into oscillation. There's a bunch of different amplifiers that use them, and they all suffer from the same issue. Basically all the high-speed amplifiers, the ones that have very high bandwidth. So this bad ground connection caused that issue. It's just a really bad design in my opinion, because the smallest bump in shipping, I mean, these were packed very well with foam on all sides. So that also brings up another topic of having people service your amplifiers before you use them, especially if you buy them online. You buy these amplifiers online, they arrive and you plug them right in. This amplifier would have popped immediately. It would have destroyed the outputs because it was oscillating. I had it on a current limiting bulb and it was pulling quite a bit of power because it was oscillating, even without anything plugged in to the input or the output. So that definitely would have killed this amplifier. And I have a feeling that's what originally killed this L-05, which is why somebody's done what they've done. I don't know why they changed the filter caps. That's beyond me. Usually filter caps especially Elna filter caps, they don't go bad. So I don't know what happened here. And it's kind of irrelevant because these are going back to the seller. That being said, these seemed pretty legitimate online through their listing. The seller has sold a lot of audio gear before. He had positive feedback, but as you can see, stuff like this will still happen. So when you buy on eBay, you usually get a good deal, but you really have to know what you're buying. You really have to bring it to a tech that knows what they're doing to inspect the amplifier or the preamp or the turntable, whatever you're buying. That's just always the best route to go. If you just buy these and plug them straight in, you're just gonna have issues, guarantee. Especially when they get bumped during shipping. A lot of people don't know how to pack gear properly. It's just the nature of the beast, buying vintage audio. So I just wanted to make this video just to warn people, mainly about buying stuff on eBay. Usually sellers will work with you to get you a refund, to get you a partial refund. But if they don't, that's what eBay and PayPal protection are for. They usually side with the buyer. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry I wasn't able to restore these. I was actually looking forward to it. But my client, who's a friend of mine, might actually be buying some L-07s. So we'll see when time comes. But for now, that's about it. Thanks for watching. So I just wanted to make a quick follow-up video on the oscillating L-05M. I have the cover and everything back together on the one that was previously worked on. And I'm just trying to do the eBay seller a favor here by fixing this amplifier before he gets it back. He already knows of the issue, but I'm gonna fix this issue considering it's very minor. It's a minor fix, but it's a catastrophic issue. I just wanted to show you guys what happens if you have a bad ground connection on one of these amplifiers. So like I said, I have the oscilloscope hooked up just before the speaker protection relay. And I have it on a variac and I have it on a dim bulb tester. And if I turn the switch on, you'll see it start to oscillate. And it oscillates at 1.5 or so megahertz. That's pretty crazy. And if I just tap this ground connection here, and I make contact with the circuit board, you'll see that the oscillation stops and it stops drawing current just by touching it. If I let go, oscillation starts and it draws current. So the issue is just a loose screw in here. See if you can see it. Don't know if you can see it, but it's just behind these filter caps in the center of the board. And it's just a regular machine screw, and it goes down and it screws right into this nut, and another screw comes onto the nut from the bus bar, and it sandwiches the circuit board between it. And that's one of the reasons why these L-05Ms die. It's just bad engineering from the factory. That really should have been a solder connection, both there and up here, where it's also mechanically coupled to the board. So just wanted to show that, maybe help somebody else out that's having an issue with theirs. So anyway, thanks for watching.